G'day modelers, and welcome back to the Scenery Guy. In preparing for these videos, I went back through my archive. I found some really interesting footage on some displays that my son and I did together a few years ago. So I'm going to post them up here now and talk about the process. You'll see the first couple of images are actually from my son's Instagram page, and I'll put a link down below of his site, so if you want to check him out. He's a very talented painter and modeler. We started modeling together back in the wargaming days when Cameron was 9-10 years old. So by all means check out Cameron's page as well on Instagram and have a look at the lovely work he's doing. He decided he wanted to build a diorama to take some of his photos for Instagram in, so we got together and built this junkyard scene. I'll show you that later on, talk about the process of doing that as well. Here's a lovely photo of Cameron and myself getting into some modelling in the shed. We'll start with Cammy, and he's going to show you how he rusts up and preps a vehicle. Find some rust coloured paints, and all you're doing is spottering it on, moving it around on the surface. You don't want to overblend it, you don't want to pound away at it and mix those colours together too much. You just want them to start to blend, if you like, and then you mop up the excess with a light tissue, and that helps give the paint some texture as well. Let that dry off. You can give it as many coats as you like. You can do this rust effect where you want rust to be, but if you're not sure where you want the rust to show through the vehicle, then do the whole vehicle or the whole train carriage, robot, whatever it is you're rusting up. Before that paint dries, you sprinkle salt onto those areas that you want the rust to appear through. The salt acts as a mask, so that where the next layer of paint sits, it's going to sit on top of the salt and not on top of the rust that you've made underneath it. It'll become clear in a little while. So put salt on wherever you want that process to be, and then when you've got it how you want, you then go over it with all your top coats. Try not to knock any of that salt off. Once you've got all your top coats on and you're happy with it, we remove the salt. You can lightly rub your finger over it to get rid of the salt crystals, or you can blow it away. You can get a nice fine brush and just brush the bits away, and then as you can see there, where the salt laid, exposed the rust underneath and gives it a really great effect. Now once we got the car organised, I then started work on the base. I put a layer down first of paper towels soaked in PVA, put some textures and stuff into it to get some ground effect, and then started flocking from there. I like the idea of flocking with a longer grass first, then knock off any excess while the PVA glue's still wet, put the next colour on or a shorter one, layer that on, knock that off, and then go down to a finer one again, and that will fill in all the gaps in between and give you a nice even coat of grass everywhere, so there's not too many bald patches. There's tons of techniques you can then go on to do from there, which I can show you in other tutorials to really get some natural looking texture in the grass, weeds coming through, that sort of stuff. As the car is going to be covering most of it up, this was fine to leave it the way it was here. We then glued the car on top and proceeded to weather it up a little bit with some mould and lichen, put some weeds and things in. With all my modelling, I take a lot of inspiration from the natural world, and wherever I go, I like to take photos of areas that interest me and use that information to plant plants and put weeds. So that's it for this video. Just give you a bit of an insight of some of the work that we've done, and again, I'll ask you guys to pop something down in the comments below, and I'll put some tutorials together, show you how I did things, show you my techniques and that sort of stuff. In the next video, I'll show you how I put the little shed together. That was a project I completed during COVID. I've got some images of the process of that as well. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the next one. As always, make sure you tell your friends to come along to the channel. Happy modelling!